Hey guys, I'm Fancy,
And I'm Amy.
and you're watching the Good Wives Network. And welcome back, viewers. Tonight we are kicking off a new series, Crime Bites. And in this series, we're going to be taking on the subjects of bullying, suicide, and murder. So I'm really excited about this series that we are putting together here. We have been wanting to cover these types of cases and topics for a while now, and
Mm-hmm.
we've done a little bit of work on this in the past. We've talked about Cherokee Harmon, we've talked about Skylar Neese, and we intend to really get into a lot more of these types of cases. Uh, but this first case that we want to cover is the one that's been making rounds in the media, and that is the tragic suicide of Aubrey Wyatt, a 13-year-old girl who took her life on September 4th, 2023, in Ocean Springs, Mississippi. Allegedly, Aubrey had been subjected to years of bullying by classmates, and we would like to share this memorial video that her family created for her. It's on the funeral website at Bradford O'Keefe Obituaries / Aubrey Wyatt. If you want to check it out, we can put that into the chat here if we can. Let me see if I can copy and paste that down here for you guys. So, Amy, have you seen this case kind of making the rounds?
Yes, I have. I've been getting caught up on it, and yeah, it's very disturbing to me. Very, very disturbing.
Yeah. Alrighty. So here we go. I'm going to play this for you guys. And I'm going to read the obituary over the top of this for you all. H. Wyatt, 13 of Ocean Springs, Mississippi, passed away on Monday, September 4th, 2023. Sister, and friend. She taught each her friends gymnastics, writing and making TikToks. Aubrey was well known in the Loveland community, especially for her outgoing and bubbly personality. Aubrey's survivors include her mother, Heather Wyatt, her sister, Taylor Wyatt, her younger brother, Riker Woods, her grandmother, Carrie Wyatt, her beloved house, and numerous family members and friends. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can get myself clear at the same time. Can you guys hear me now?
It's the music is too loud.
Is the music just too loud? Okay.
It's drowning you out. Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Is that better? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I can start over. So here's the picture. Start over again. Aubrey Wyatt, 13 of Ocean Springs, Mississippi, passed away on Monday, September 4th, 2023, Ocean Springs. Aubrey was born in Ocean Springs on March 17th, 2010. She was an 8th grade student. I'm trying to get as far as I can. So if you guys just want to watch it, and then I can do it over backwards, that's cool too. So
Yeah, the music's just drowning you out.
yeah, it's just drowning me out. It's okay. so pretty. Okay, so now let's see here. I will read the obituary for you guys. Hold on. Oh, come on. Stop being stupid. Get off the page. Thank you. Okay. Um, Oh, goodness. What am I doing? Oh, there we go. Okay, here we go. So the obituary read Aubrey Paige Wyatt, 13 of Ocean Springs, Mississippi, passed away on Monday, September 4th, 2023, in Ocean Springs. Aubrey was born in Ocean Springs on March 17th, 2010. She was an eighth grade student at Ocean Springs Middle School and an active member in youth group at St. Paul UMC. Aubrey was a straight A student, an amazing daughter, sister, and friend. She loved the beach, her friends, gymnastics, riding four wheelers, and making TikToks. Aubrey was well known and loved in the community, especially for her outgoing and bubbly personality. Aubrey's survivors include her mother, Heather Wyatt, her sister, Taylor Wyatt, her brother, Riker Woods, her grandfather, Kerry Wyatt, her beloved cat, Zeus, and numerous family member and friends. In lieu of flowers, the family prefers donations be made in Aubrey's memory to Community Bank. Funeral services will be held on Sunday, September 10th, 2023 at St. Paul United Methodist Church, East Campus at 3:30 p.m. Friends may visit, so they did the whole thing. And they did hold a candlelight vigil for her. And then Bradford O'Keefe Funeral Home is honored to serve the family of Aubrey Paige Wyatt, to order memorial trees or send flowers to the family in memory of Aubrey Paige Wyatt. You can visit their flower store. So, it's just a short and sweet little memorial there. And since then, this opens up to a lot of different things that we've been dealing with in, the last several years. I think that internet bullying has taken on a whole different look since social media has become such a big part of our daily lives. So, when I was a kid growing up, Amy, and I'm sure you were too, there was an end to it each day. You left school and you went home to the safety of your house.
And it was over.
Right. But today the children carry devices in their hands everywhere that allows the bullying to be constant and nonstop.
It's always in their face.
It is. It is. It used to be that unless you had your own family was, less than nice to you, you could go home at the end of the day.
Right.
And you stopped it all. The worst thing that we had was, call Susie for a good time on the bathroom wall.
Right.
The level of cyber stalking and cyber bullying that is happening now is just absolutely insane.
The level is insane.
Yes. And we talked about this through the pandemic, that it even became worse through the pandemic because people were housed inside houses with their bullies every day,
Exactly.
especially in a domestic violence situation. Cyberbullying has often contributed to the suicides of its victims. Many cases have garnered international attention, such as the 2012 suicide of 15-year-old Canadian Amanda Todd, who created a YouTube video disclosing the details of her tormented life at the hands of an online stalker. In April of 2013, Canada experienced another high-profile case when 17-year-old, I think it's going to be Ratea Persons, was taken off life support following a sexual assault that was captured digitally, then shared online, and prompting 2 years of online harassment, which led to her suicide attempt. And then across the Atlantic, the United Kingdom experienced its own tragedy in 2013 when 14-year-old Hannah Smith hung herself following a rash of bullying on Ask.fm, a social media site for music lovers. In 2007, America was shocked by the unusual circumstances which led to 13-year-old Megan Myers' suicide. Megan was the victim of a hoax created by the mother of a former friend. The mother set up a fake MySpouse account, posing as a 16-year-old boy who befriended Megan to gain her trust and then eventually bullied her relentlessly.
I remember that. I
I
remember that.
can't even begin to think what is a person thinking? A mom.
I
Freaking mom is going to go online and bully a 13-year-old. What
mm-hmm,
ever loving F.
mm-hmm. Yep.
I just, and children who experience bullying are twice as likely to attempt suicide as their non-bullied peers, according to a recent study.
Mm-hmm.
20% of minors who are cyberbullied consider suicide, while 10% actually attempt to take their own lives, resulting in approximately 4,500 deaths per year.
Wow.
According to a recent youth risk behavior study, teens who experience cyberbullying are 3 times more likely to require medical treatment following a suicide attempt compared to those not enduring online harassment.
My goodness.
So, I mean, we're talking about over 4,500 deaths a year just from bullying. And, we've talked about this in the past. Like I said, we've discussed other cases. One of the cases that I thought was the most interesting was the Conrad Roy case before this one, the Aubrey
Mm-hmm.
case. But the
Mm-hmm.
Conrad Roy case, that was an interesting one. That was a case of a girlfriend convincing him that his mission in life was to take his life through systemic, bullying him and asking him every single day, was he going to be today going to be the day he took
Is
his
it today? I remember that one too. Yeah, was
life?
today going to be the day? He pushed him and
Oh,
pushed him and pushed him.
yeah, yeah. So this is all tonight, though, we're going to be talking about the Aubrey Wyatt case. So, after Aubrey died last year in September 4th of 2023, students wore suicide awareness ribbons and colors to an Ocean Springs Greyhounds football game. Her mother, her older sister, Taylor, who is in the 10th grade, and her younger brother, Riker, I
Mm-hmm.
believe he's, real young, walked onto the field and joined the crowd to honor her with a moment of silence. A bouquet of flowers and stuffed animals piled up around the sign outside of Ocean Springs Middle School, where Aubrey had just started 8th grade. So students gathered for a campus protest, carrying signs and calling for an end to the bullying. Um, there were at least 8 students who walked out of class Friday afternoon in protest after one female student said she was suspended from Ocean Springs High School for standing up for Aubrey on Facebook. The students made protest signs and were standing with them across from the school on the busy Old Spanish Trail, and drivers rode by honking constantly in support. You're right, Skippity Wyatt, exactly. A parent should never have to bury their child.
No,
That is
never.
the most heartbreaking things a parent can experience. It's tragic, and I feel like this poor mother has just been through hell afterwards.
And especially when she fought so hard. I mean, she did talk with the principal, and
Yeah,
it wasn't like she wasn't trying. I mean,
right. No, it sounds like a lot of these parents have been trying. So the student that was suspended on Friday afternoon had posted, she said Heather Wyatt had posted on Facebook some of the text messages between Aubrey and her alleged bullies. And the student was suspended because she said she commented on the post writing about the bullies. When they get in high school, they're going to get a taste of their own medicine. She said that she deleted the post after one of her teachers admonished her about it Friday, but she said she wound up being suspended and will possibly even be expelled. So other students at the protest were upset that the student had been disciplined when they don't see bullies suffering these same repercussions. Um, and so there were quite a bit of former students that actually came out to speak. Uh,
mm-hmm.
and one of those former students was Vanessa Owens, and she recounted how she felt exactly the same way 10 years prior at the same school. She remembered how worthless she felt under the steady drumbeat of hateful taunts, how she just wanted it all to end. And she says she is grateful that she lived to see that painful time in her life was fleeting, her bullying was the hands at some of her closest friends. And and that my daughter went through that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
my daughter started becoming a lot more popular, and one of the girls that was her friend was very jealous of it. And so she started doing things to my daughter to, hurt her, and we didn't know where it was coming from. Well, that's why I've always been so adamant about being, on top of what are my kids doing on social media.
Right.
So we had already pulled her out of school at this point, because there was a lot of different things. A lot of it had to do with the bullying. It was her last few years of high school, and
Mm-hmm.
Sarah was really advanced. So I kind of just pulled her out and gave her a crash course in the last two years, and then she went on to go ahead and go to college. um but we found out that her friend was setting her up to go to a football game where she had pretended to be Sarah online and was basically inciting like race wars and people, all the little bullies to come and like beat her up. And we think what the girl wanted to do was then like jump in and be like the savior, and that was like what her motivation for it was. But I mean, this was like Sarah's closest friend, and she was doing this to her. And if I had not been paying attention to my child's social media, my daughter would have gone and she could have been severely injured, because this girl was just jealous of Sarah.
And I've seen that happen
Hmm.
many times where
Yeah.
girls will go after another girl and literally, you know, do away with them.
Right. So Vanessa showed up at Ocean Springs Middle School for the protest over bullying. She and a handful of people, including her mother and grandmother, stood near a middle school sign where a makeshift memorial to Aubrey had been fashioned. And Vanessa actually held up a sign that said, "Be a beauty, not a bully." And so Vanessa wanted at last to tell her story, and she wants people to know how badly bullying hurts. She doesn't want to see another child bullied to death, a fate she almost experienced when her closest friends turned on her. Quote, "It doesn't last forever," said Vanessa, who is now 27 and a young mother with a home and a career she loves. So she goes on to say, "Your life is so much more than middle school years. Don't listen to bullies. What they are saying are only reflections of what's going on with them in their own home. It's nothing that you're doing. Feel bad for them." And that usually is it.
Mhm.
These bullies are usually kids that have their own complexes, and they're doing it because they aren't, you know, sure of their own skin. So to take that off of them and to make them feel more comfortable, they begin to tease other children.
Mhm. It's
You know,
learned behavior for sure.
definitely learned behavior.
It
Definitely.
does start in the home, and I've always tried to explain that to my kids too, and be like, "There, people aren't like that for no reason." You know what I mean? People aren't this mean and cruel for no reason. There's someone hurt them in their life or what have you. Doesn't
Mhm.
make it right. Doesn't make it right at all. But it's usually going on in the home.
Yeah. Yeah. It started, and it started, bullying for me started really early on. I was 4 and 5 years old being bullied on the playground, and my mother came out, watched two girls like drag me across the playground by my hair. And she came out and she wasn't mad at the girls. I mean, yes, she was, but you know what I mean? She wasn't mad at them. She was mad at me for not defending myself. She was like, "Don't you ever let somebody do this to you."
No.
So I was always standing up to bullies and standing up for kids who were being bullied all
Mm-hmm.
through. I remember, defending my friends in high school. I defended kids in junior high and elementary school that I thought were being picked on mercilessly. I was always the one trying to, like, stand up to the bullies.
Mm-hmm.
And this young lady, Vanessa, says for her, the bullying started at the beginning of her 7th grade year. Kids were calling her Big V because of her weight, and it was hurtful and upsetting to her at the time. And her mom protested, saying that Vanessa might not have been model thin, but she was a normal weight range. And
Mm.
this nickname stuck and made Vanessa feel unattractive and less than. She was on the dance team. She hung out with the dancers, the cheerleaders, the football players, the cool kids. She was kind and she tried to include everyone. Her parents even enclosed their garage so she could have a crowd of girls over for sleepovers. And her parents thought her school years would be different from her older brothers. Now, he was brutally bullied through middle school into high school in the same area as well. So when he was in 10th grade, his parents finally paid out of district tuition for him to attend Biloxi High School, where he was accepted and flourished, and now is even singing with the school choir at Carnegie Hall in New York.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
yeah. So, and that was her older brother, um, and so he went on to be successful and she's gone on to have a good life. But these two of her children were suffered bullying in this school system. So Vanessa was bullied by her friends despite going to the gym to improve her chill skills and kept her weight down. The original team of 14 girls was trimmed back to 12, excluding Vanessa and another heavier set cheerleader on the team.
Mm.
Teachers even joined in on the bullying, and Vanessa's mother said her complaints, like Heather's, fell on deaf ears. When Vanessa was no longer part of the cheer team, her former friends began making fun of her, isolating her, and keeping her from being a part of their group at lunch any longer. She was in counseling, and the psychologist she saw did not expect anything to improve and recommended she change schools. So Vanessa's parents transferred her to Duberville High School after the school year had started. She loved the school and found the support and friendship she had been missing since elementary school, but the trauma hadn't ended for her. So during Christmas break, her former girlfriends from Ocean Springs now have vandalized her prized convertible. They slashed the top and wrote hurtful words on it: "You suck, you whore," those kinds of things. Even now, the memory brings back Vanessa to tears. The family reported the vandalism to law enforcement, but Vanessa did not want to press charges against any of those girls because she didn't want them to have criminal records at such young ages. And so the parents of those girls, they paid to repair Vanessa's car. So
Well,
uh,
they should have.
absolutely, they should have,
Yeah.
And see, this is the thing. Like Vanessa says here, she began to believe their words, and that's what happens.
Hmm.
Is when bullies are doing this to you, you know, you can only stand in your resolve for so long before you begin to think, "Am I the problem? Am
Hmm.
I the person that is? Am I crazy? Is it not happening the way I believe this is happening?" And as an
Hmm.
adult, I've dealt with this quite a bit, as you know,
Hmm.
Amy, and
Yes.
that's been horrible for me, even because it's like you begin to listen to what they're saying about you and you begin to think it's true because, they're saying it so vehemently and they are so convicted in what they're saying. But then I sit down and I, as an adult, am able to go, but wait a minute. No, that's ridiculous. I know what I have and have not done. I know what these people have done to me. I know what they've said about me, and I know it to be, false and inaccurate information. And so then I'm able to convince myself, okay, no, I'm this is not me. This is them. This is a them problem.
Especially
Uh,
when they're adults,
exactly, when they're adults.
you
I mean,
know.
the adults in these situations are horrible. In the amount of bullying and that has happened in the last several years on TikTok and Facebook and YouTube, for a lot of people I know, including myself, has been absolutely abhorrent. Just behavior that I just can't believe that grown adults are engaging in. And so then if you think about that with children, teenagers especially, with
Hmm.
their raging hormones, and they don't understand themselves and their self, they have self awareness and self-esteem problems.
Mm-hmm.
And so, they turn on weaker individuals and take it out on them to make them feel better.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it went so far with Vanessa that she began to think she was really so worthless that she decided to end it. She rammed her car into a wall. An airbag went off in her face, and fortunately, she survived with only minor injuries. She told her parents the wreck had been an accident, and it took her years to tell them what really had happened.
Right.
Um, you know, it's just exactly, Celeste. As a 30-year-old woman with mental health issues, I just can't open myself up. I cannot imagine a child whose frontal lobe isn't even developed yet having to deal with this. Exactly. And see, that's one of the things, like, we've talked about this in the past, my thought process on, I do believe in capital punishment. But I began to have my thought process on capital punishment change over the years as we've dealt with more true crime cases that involved kids, and whether kids should be tried as adults in adult situations. Even if they make adult decisions, are they actually capable of understanding the real world consequences of those choices? And the
Right.
answer to my understanding is no. The frontal lobe does not fully develop in people until they are 25 years
Yeah,
old.
mid-20s. Yeah.
These children are going through these adult situations and trying to deal with it like adults, and they're expected to just not be affected by it and turn the other cheek. But we are asking children to do this when grown adults cannot deal with this, you
Right.
know yeah. Um, so the superintendent, Michael Lindsay, said the district does take bullying seriously. There are more protections for students today and multiple ways to report bullying, including anonymously on the school district's website. The district can't tell students and parents about any disciplinary action taken against another student, including one who is reported for bullying. So, school district policies include punishments from in school suspension all the way up to expulsion. Reports are available to campus police and can be escalated to involve local law enforcement. Criminal charges are an option in some cases, and the district's policy says bullying, hazing, and stalking are treated as quote unquote a serious offense, as serious offenses subject to criminal prosecution. He goes on to say every incident is investigated and evidence shows the student code of conduct has been violated. There are consequences. He said that the school district has held anti-bullying programs this year, including one on cyberbullying and responsible use of social media, and is already planning another push for next school year. Quote, we cannot handle anything as that is not reported to us. He added, noting there are several ways to report bullying, including an anonymous online form. Um, so he's doing exactly what every school official from here to Timbuktu has ever
Right.
done when they're called
Mm-hmm.
out. Oh no, we take it very seriously. We always investigate these. No, you don't. You fucking don't. I'm
No.
sorry. I was a
No.
child of bullying. My children were products of bullying. I know several other children who've been no, these schools don't investigate shit. They don't freaking protect our children at all, and it's pretty freaking disgusting.
It
We
really is.
and they're screaming from the mountaintops, and they're just like, well, they just need to toughen up. I mean, it's just kids will be kids. No, no.
Mm-mm.
There's a level of appropriate, I, I don't want to say appropriate bullying, but there's a certain level of appropriate, conflict and problem solving, and regular just competitive nature and things like that. There's a difference between that and this level of bullying. There's a difference between, oh, I had it out with a kid on the bus today and he called me weird, and this is going on every day all day and they aren't able to escape it. you
Right.
know these girls were sending messages directly to Aubrey, Um, and yes, the school system fails just as many kids as CPS. I agree. You know, uh, it just this is not something we should be overlooking as a society. We should be protecting our children. We should be, I'm also not for the wussification of America. I don't believe that we should coddle our children and, make them all think that every single one of you is a special little snow. No, fuck that. No, nobody is special. Nobody is something, different. No, we're all special. We're all different. We're all our own unique beings. But there has to be a certain moment where we say, no, this is not okay. This is not your normal, average, everyday.
Right. This is
we,
too
we're
far.
bullies on the playground. This is
Right.
going way too far. Um,
This is
so
more than just saying, don't sit here.
right,
You know what I
right.
mean?
You can't sit with us. No,
Right.
this is
Way
taking
more.
bullying to a whole new level. And it's just it's hard. Yes, and their parents half the time don't even care. Exactly, Celeste.
Mhm.
That's what I'm seeing. And I feel like in this specific case, absolutely, the parents in this do not care. I believe that Heather cares immensely for what happened to her child, but the bullies,
Mhm.
those parents, they half of them are members of the freaking superintendent,
School. Yeah.
this board.
Yep.
This is ridiculous. So how
Mhm.
are you going to sit here and say we take all this serious when your own children are the ones out here bullying and you're the person screaming that, you're taking bullying seriously? Well, are you taking it seriously when your child is doing it or only when other children are doing it?
Right. And then they're going to, hey, Alicia, and then they're going to, come after
Right.
her because she's doing TikToks
Right.
about her daughter, celebrating her daughter, trying to celebrate her daughter and mourn her daughter. And never once does she say anything about them, about the
No,
bullies, about the parents, about any of it. But they still try to, I mean, I don't understand. Like,
she never even mentioned their names. That's the thing. So continuing on a little bit more about Vanessa. So, friends of the Owens family saw Vanessa, her mother, and her grandmother outside the middle school for the bullying protest. And one of them texted Carla Owens and said, "So proud of Vanessa for standing up. What has happened is extremely sad and heartbreaking. Please let Vanessa know that it is never too late to stand up to bullies. And I hope she keeps her voice loud because that helps and inspires those who are going through it. I admire how brave she is."
mm,
Now, this school district is no stranger to bullying stories, though. A
sounds like
number
it.
Right. No, this district has a huge problem, and I really want to know why nothing's being done.
Mm-hmm.
So, a number of the students at the protest have had experiences with bullying. One is 15-year-old Brooklyn Lake. She was joined at the protest by her mother. Brooklyn said that she attempted death by suicide in the 6th grade because she was being relentlessly bullied by a boy at Ocean Springs Upper Elementary School. Her mom, Farrah Forehand, said she tried repeatedly to talk with school officials about the bullying so it would stop, but nothing happened. And one day on the playground at recess, Brooklyn said she guessed the boy got mad because kids were playing dodgeball and the ball hit him in the leg. She said the boy hit her with a stick. He threatened to shoot me dead and beat me with a baseball bat. She attempted suicide that evening, she said. I felt like it was the only way to make it stop. Another student stated that her sister had to go away to military school to escape the massive amount of bullying she was enduring. So, like I said, this seems to be a very rampant issue in this district. And it
Mm-hmm.
makes me wonder if the parents aren't the bigger problem here.
It would seem so.
I mean,
Absolutely starts in the home.
it does. And so several of the children being accused of bullying Aubrey's parents work for the school district, as I said. And it does seem strange that a district would so blatantly allow bullying to occur in their homes. But I guess if it's their children doing the bullying, you can imagine how lax they are in stopping it. So this is
Exactly.
going to turn, now we're going to talk a lot about the legal battles that Heather Wyatt has faced since her daughter's death. Because to add insult to injury, not only did these girls these four girls allegedly bully Aubrey to death, then their parents added insult to injury by taking Heather to court for defamation and other various charges against her speaking out for her child. So she has faced serious backlash for taking to social media for support and to bring awareness. And in another attempt to silence Heather, the parents of the alleged bullies, 14 girls that were classmates of Aubrey, brought a defamation lawsuit against Heather. Heather never mentioned the girls by name, but the parents alleged that Heather's platform was causing their children severe bullying and hardship. And these parents of these alleged bullies work in positions of leadership in the school district that both Aubrey and her bullies attended. So, while
Yeah.
I wouldn't want bullying to happen to any child for any reason, I cannot believe that they're going to sit here and state that Heather talking about her own child story and what she went through is somehow now causing their children to be bullied and hardships. Well, I don't know. Maybe if your children weren't bullying people, then there would be
Yeah.
no bullying or hardship for them.
Right.
So,
Right.
I mean, I'm sorry that they got a taste of their own medicine.
Because there was a doll that went around afterwards, and they said it was the main bully. It was her room. They knew what her room looked like, and it was like a Barbie doll with a noose or something like that, and blood on them. And I mean, what the hell? I mean,
well,
really?
as I reported earlier this week, they were leaving horrible messages on the website of the funeral home.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then her parents, I don't know if her parents created this, but one of the members of the family created a memorial page for her on Everloved. And I'm going to put that down here so you guys can go and see it. But it's where, all of her friends and her family have dropped, memorials and memories and things like that about her, sharing their life with her. And that is where they originally started, saying disparaging things about this girl, like adding insult to injury. As I've said, this is just damn it.
Like, I don't understand what I mean. Somebody takes their life and you still don't stop. Like, what does that say about you?
What does that say about you? Exactly.
What's that say about your parents? Like, what the,
And then your parents are going to sue this mother? Like seriously? Why can't you just tell your child to stop being a fucking dick?
Yeah.
Tell
maybe
your kid.
You should stay off of social media for a while.
Maybe you should stay off of social media for a while. You were a real asshole to this girl and she's dead now. So why don't you stay off? Because, I wouldn't want you to have the same treatment as her. But man.
Yeah.
Hello, pot. It's kettle. You're black.
Yeah, exactly.
And Heather was a teacher at Ocean Springs Elementary,
right,
where the bullying started for Aubrey years ago. And she states that these girls have bullied Aubrey since the beginning of 5th grade, all the way up until the beginning of 8th grade, when Aubrey decided to take her life last September. Heather sought justice after her child's death by hiring Ocean Springs attorney Trevor Lockstack to investigate the bullying that led to her daughter taking her life. According to the Sun Herald, Heather Wyatt began posting mostly on TikTok, where her following steadily grew. In February, she posted a video saying the Ocean Springs Police Department and Jackson County Youth Court had each decided not to pursue bullying case over Aubrey's death. Wyatt was upset, and she said she could begin to share evidence against Aubrey's bullies because the investigations were over. She said the bullies included 4 girls and 1 boy. Aubrey would be friends with them for a week, and then they would fight for a week, Wyatt said in a video. It was just this big social isolation, and Aubrey was way too forgiving. So I'm going to play one of those. Amy was kind enough to hunt down one of them for us, and this is the one that actually talks about them finding
the way that she found her.
The way that she found her. So trigger warning if you guys have anything like
Aubrey had committed. A lot of you have asked this in just like a different way, and so I'm going to answer in the most like censored way possible. Basically, the night before, just to give a summary, like Aubrey was fine, like she had gone in her room. At about like 9:15ish, I went and laid Riker down, and then she was at like a birthday party, anticipated returning home around like 10ish. Nothing different. Quick summarize, she comes home, everything's fine that night. So then, because I guess we were all kind of up late.
Yeah, I went to bed at 11.
I mean, she went to bed at like 11.
Wait, no.
So, and everything was fine. And so then, anyway, so I go to bed. Well, Riker and I usually get up pretty early. We're just like on a school schedule. So we usually wake up around like 7:30. I always wake up, make my coffee, go sit on the couch, adjust as I'm waking up, TikTok, Riker watches iPad. Well, once I've had my coffee, and I was working out a lot back then, I would do my workout from home. So anyway, so normally Riker would just like hang out with me in there, and then,
He's in the room.
but thankfully, I was like, hey, I'm going to do my workout. And he was like, oh, I'm just going to go lay in your bed and watch my iPad then. And I was like, okay, that's fine. So he did that. Well, anyway, so I am like maybe like 5 to 10 minutes into my workout, and I am getting hot. To summarize why I guess that's important is because like I get cold very, very easily. So my air is always set at like 74. I hate the cold. I don't want to feel the cold. Anyways, Aubrey would always sneak up, not like sneak up. She didn't get in trouble, but like always drop the air down like after I went to bed. So anyway, so when I went to work out, typically I never had to adjust it because she had already dropped it the night before. So it was no big deal. Anyway, so I was like, oh, I'm hot. Let me go drop the air off, like, turn it down. So I did, to go do that, I passed Aubrey's room. And so I was like, oh, let me, pop in there. Mind you, it's like 10 o'clock in the morning and just see what she's doing. And when I went in there is when I had found that she had passed away. So obviously, like, we're not going to get into those details. We just don't feel comfortable at this time going into those. So
What do you just want me to share what I did?
So I think, did I yell for you?
No, you're just yelling.
I was screaming.
I was yelling,
hysterical.
And like it was like a scream that I had never heard before. So like I got up and I went, and I thought my mom was in the living room because like that's where she was at. And so I just kind of like followed the yelling, and it was coming from my sister's room. So I went in there, and like obviously like I saw what all happened. And
then I remember like screaming at her to call 911.
So so I call 911. I go to my mom's room
because mind you, I'm screaming like because my brain is not thinking like, oh my gosh, calm down before Riker hears you.
Yes. So I'm on the phone 911, running to my mom's room to tell my little brother not to come out.
Right.
I'm like, don't come out of this room until I tell you to. And then I call Nick, which is my mom's fiance, and then I call my Uncle Jeff, and I call my pawpaw, and they all kind of rattle in one at a time.
It was a lot. She did things that I know in the moment, like my brain was not thinking, but like looking back now, like I should have called 911. But also I was attempting CPR. I was doing things to try.
Yeah, and like
wasn't
trying to be vague about specifically about like how Aubrey passed. It's kind of hard to go into detail about like what mom was all doing, but there was a lot that she was trying to do.
And I'm just screaming.
I'm just trying to, like, I don't know.
It was like both of us just like went into autopilot, and I just don't even know how all my neighbors didn't rush. And
Yeah, the door was open the whole
our front door
time
was
too.
wide open. Like I'm telling, like nothing. Our morning had been so typical. So it was a lot. It was a lot. And then I did not leave the room that Aubrey was in with her
Until she left.
for hours
Yeah.
and
Because
hours.
this was up until
So
10 to 4.
we found Aubrey about 10 a.m. And
No. We found her at like 9:40.
9:40.
Because I made the call. I made the call around 10:04.
Yes. And so also, so I guess because things you learn, so because I know this question will be next. So how they
They suspect that she was passed away around 2 o'clock.
yeah, they suspect that it was around 2 a.m. Just because of, I guess, I mean,
What's
the
it called
science.
with the D? It's called something. Like how, like when you pass away, the steps that your body goes through.
I have no idea. But on her death
Rigor
certificate,
mortis.
it says like 10:18 or something, which is not true. However, because until the actual, is it the coroner gets here and like officially pronounces her deceased, then that's her time of death. Even though they
And that's correct. So I'm going to stop it there. But that's correct. And that's what we're actually seeing with the Gypsy Rose case, because people don't understand why the death certificate has the date of June 14th on it. Because, you know, her autopsy report and all of that, it's like June 9th or June 10th. Depending on the hours of day. But since Dee Dee was not found until the 14th, the actual death certificate says June 14th, because that's the day that they pronounced her.
That the coroner pronounces it, right?
Yes. So, yeah, you know,
I can't imagine that. I can't imagine that.
I can't imagine.
I cannot imagine that.
No, I don't even know how she is able to talk about it. Like, I feel so terrible for her and her children, you know.
She goes on to say in that too, that she, once they took her, she could not leave her room. She wouldn't leave.
Oh God.
I can imagine. Like I just can't. I don't even know. I probably feel like crawling through the floor. I just don't even know. Like, oh my word, I can't imagine it.
Yeah, Celeste, exactly as my mom said, you don't have to like me. That's not my job, when I was angry with her. Exactly.
Yep.
You know, I used to tell my kids, I'd rather you hate me and you be alive than love you and you be dead. Like, you know, like I'd rather you hate me for telling you you can't do something because I'm protecting you.
Right.
Than for you to go and do that thing because I didn't care enough, and then I'm loving a child that's no longer with me because I didn't do my job.
Right.
I don't care if you don't like me right now. I'm doing this for your safety. You know,
right.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine coming in and finding your child dead. I just
Nope. I can't imagine the sound that came out of her, because her oldest daughter, you know, she knew. She just went running because she was like, yeah, that was.
I'm sure that was
horrible sound. I'm sure.
Wail. It's you know, I have heard that wail before, and it's you know,
spine chilling. It really is. It's not a good sound.
Yeah.
You know, it's something absolutely horrifying when you hear that sound.
Yeah. So in other videos, Heather also showed a screenshot that her daughter Taylor received after Aubrey's death. Wyatt said the bullies were sending the screenshot around. It showed, here we go, this is where we're talking about, a bloody doll with a noose around its neck. She also shared a photo of Aubrey with a red cheek when she was in 7th grade. Aubrey, who texted the photo to her mom, said one of the bullies had slapped her at school, and Wyatt told her TikTok audience. Wyatt then shared screenshots of a Snapchat conversation where one person apologized for hitting Aubrey and said, "I really didn't mean to hurt you. I'm sorry." And Aubrey apologized for the girl getting the girl in trouble. Like, seriously? Ew, Mac is here. Bye.
I was giggling at that. I'm like, okay.
Bye, Mamet
Okay.
43.
Okay.
Don't know who the
See
fuck
ya.
you are. Have a
Yeah.
good one. Anyway, these people are so weird.
It's too
So
funny. Go ahead.
I'm telling you, I don't understand these people at all, but whatever.
I know.
didn't know
It
you had
cracks
an
me up
A+
for real.
Mac.
It makes me laugh. It does. It
Um,
makes me laugh.
So in March of 2024, Heather had left her job teaching and dedicated her time full time to raising her other two children and raising awareness for cyberbullying and what her daughter had suffered. She began speaking with the Sun Herald about a memorial she was planning on the beach for Aubrey's 14th birthday, March 17th, which was St. Patrick's Day. Also in March, their attorney, Rockstat, filed a lawsuit over Aubrey's death against social media companies. And I think this is so fucking important
Very
because this
important.
is what I'm talking about right now. These social media companies are not protecting anyone. They're
No.
not protecting social First Amendment rights. They're not protecting anybody from being bullied or stalked or harassed. They perpetuate lies and misinformation, and then they try to call truth misinformation and lies. It's concerning. It's literally concerning.
Body
And these media
shaming. I mean,
body shaming, these media companies are disgusting. And the practices that they use to manipulate and cause depression and cause absolute addiction is so freaking huge. So in this lawsuit, it claims that Aubrey was addicted to social media, where she was incessantly pinged with notifications and constantly checked her account. So she was addicted to online platforms as they intend, the lawsuit says. Her mother said she was being cyberbullied on those accounts. Aubrey felt compelled to check in on the social media platforms and was incessantly pinged with notifications from her accounts, including TikTok, Snapchat, and to a lesser degree, Facebook and Instagram. Now, these sophisticated algorithms used on these online platforms, they are used to feed Aubrey and other children like her a steady diet of content tailored to their interests. And as a result, the lawsuit said Aubrey subsequently developed injuries, including but not limited to social media compulsion, lack of focus, self harm, depression, anxiety, suicidal ideations, body dysmorphia, and a reduced inclination of ability to sleep, other harmful effects, and ultimately death by suicide. Oh, and by the way, guys, just so you know, our super chat is working again. So if you would like to donate anything to help us with what we do here, you're more than welcome to do so through that, as well as we have our Cash App and everything running underneath there for you guys. Everything we do here is pretty much on a volunteer basis, so
yeah.
those things help us to keep going. The Gulfport attorney Trevor Rockstead of Davis and Crump filed the lawsuit in Superior Court in Los Angeles County, California, the state where the companies are headquartered. Wyatt's case joins hundreds of others referred to in legal circles as the social media youth addiction lawsuits. And they have been all consolidated under one specific judge, Judge Carolyn B. Cole. So we're going to dive more into those lawsuits as part of our ongoing cyberbullying awareness. The lawsuit specifically targets Meta as being detrimental in nature by the use of manipulative and unethical practices to cause our youth to become increasingly more addicted to social media. And I really believe that that is a huge part of this, you know.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah. You know, and I'm sorry, I got a little lost in my little notes here.
Oh, it's okay.
You know, the school superintendent, Mike Lindsay, has said that procedures are in place to deal with bullying, and the school system is unable to share information about specific students being disciplined. He also went on to say the school system has plans for anti-bullying education for the coming school year, as we said earlier, that
Of course.
that's his cockamamie
Yeah,
bull crap
of
that he's
course.
going to, spout out there. Heather's social media exploded after she began posting videos showing letters that she had found from Aubreigh to each member of her family and then one to them as a whole. So when they first originally found Aubreigh, they looked for these notes and they did not find them.
Yeah, no.
When they were moving recently and they were packing up Aubreigh's room was when they found these notes. And the short but powerful video was inching towards 40 million views, and Heather's following had grown to almost 1 million when the lawsuit was filed by the bully's parents. And I'm sorry, sometimes it happens if I crack, I'm sorry. The Chancery Court Judge Mark Maples in order to shut down her social media accounts. He stated he was trying to protect the minors accused of bullying Aubreigh, not that anyone gave that same consideration to her prior to her death. And the parents of the alleged four bullies filed a lawsuit in April against Heather in Chancery Court requesting an injunction. Now you might know what an injunction is based on my own legal battles.
You're familiar with that now, aren't you?
A bully. Yes, that word is very interesting. And basically that is an injunction that would be filed to ask somebody to stop doing something or to limit their ability to do something. And in this case, that is actually violating Heather's First Amendment rights to freedom of speech. Again, this is something that I've dealt with, and now we're seeing it here in this case. Now, the first judge on the case, Ashley Cole, she sealed the records the same day they were filed. So the parents' exact requests of what they wanted to be done to Heather are unclear. But the emergency order against Heather was leaked, showing that she was required to shut down all social media platforms. Funny how that's something that they've been using as a tactic for me. Interesting how this case sets precedent. So the day after Maples issued his order, the parents of the four girls filed a second lawsuit in circuit court. The lawsuit accuses Heather Wyatt of slandering the girls with her bullying accusations. While the media attempted to protect the names and identities of the bullies and their parents, outraged community members outed the parties across social media. So when Heather announced that she could no longer talk about this, that they were going to take her accounts, that created just an insane social media frenzy. And mamas all across this nation stood up in full force with our chest full out going, hell to effing no. There is no way that you're going to do this. You're not silencing a mom from sharing her grief, her story, her daughter's journey, the bullying and the effects of that bullying. You do not get to decide how that mother grieves and talks about it and
absolutely not.
Absolutely freaking not. This is again where we are protecting the abusers and the perpetrators over the victims. And this is happening right now in the case with Gypsy and how Dee Dee Blanchard has been portrayed in the media, when there is absolutely nothing to substantiate any of the claims that her daughter or her family members make about her. None of their stories add up properly. And if you all thought this all along, then you're all just as responsible for not protecting that child as anyone else. So, I mean, you guys can sit here and point fingers at Dee Dee all you want, but you're the ones that knew she could walk and did nothing. You're the ones that told her father that she was, not this way and that way. So, yeah, I haven't heard of this Kindle yet. I'm not a fan of Kindles, to be honest. I'm not a real fan of them. I have a Kindle myself that I'm not too fond of. So, sorry to any Kendalls that listen. I'm sure there's a bunch of you that are fine, upstanding individuals, but the ones that I have encountered so far, and it has been many I have had actual conversations with many Kendalls, and I have not liked a single one of them yet. So, just saying. Maybe it's a bad name. Hey, whoa. What the hell is playing in my ear? I know what's playing in my ear.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening.
Oh, it was those who shall not be named over
I don't-
there having their little live. It came on live for me because, it's up. So that's what that was. Who cares? That's what happened. So,
like StreamYard's all jacked. Like I don't see you or hear you on StreamYard.
Now you can't see me or hear me now. Can you guys see and hear me now?
But I can on YouTube on the TV when I'm watching you. But I
Go out and come back in, Ames. Ames. Amy, go out and come back on. Can you see me now? No, she's gonna be back. Amy's been having horrible situation with StreamYard. I don't know what is going on, but it is not user friendly for her. So what do you guys think of this case so far? I think it's rather tragic. I think this poor mother has been put through hell at the hands of the bully's parents. We're gonna start to cover a little bit more about that as when Matt comes back here. But yeah, I mean, I just think that this is such a tragic story. And it's one that we keep seeing play out over and over and over again. And we act shocked every time it happens, and yet it continues to keep happening. Can you see me and hear me now, Matt?
I can see you and I can hear you. Yes. I don't know what happened. It just did this blip. And then I was hearing something else, not you. I don't know. It was weird, but here I am.
The live of those that shall not be named started playing randomly. That's
I got you.
Yeah, so you were hearing my speakers play that. I didn't know it was starting, and I don't give a flying fadoodle. I just happen to have it up, and then
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what happened.
So okay.
Anyhow,
Skippity Wyatt. It's horrible. I am saddened for this family. Losing someone that young, burying your child is a no. It is an absolute no.
Yeah.
My heart does break.
Well, and like I said, I was talking about Kendalls, and I'm so sorry that she's got her own Kendall that harasses and bullies her, because like I said, I'm just not been very I don't have a whole lot of friends that I like named Kendall. I've met a couple. I have not met one that I like yet. So hopefully there will be a Kendall someday that comes along and I might actually like them. But so far, my dealings with Kendalls has not been good.
No.
And it's one Kindle. I have lots of other Kindles that I don't know. Maybe it's a bad name. I don't know. Anyway, Heather took to GoFundMe to raise money for legal fees. She collected over $100,000 by Tuesday afternoon. She wrote an update to the account. We love you guys so much, and I just know my baby girl would be ecstatic to see how many people love her, how many people are fighting for her. I'm honored to be able to share my baby girl with so many amazing people. Aubreigh's army, or mob as some call it, have been such a light in the dark time. We love you all. So now
Aw.
this has hit, this has hit national news now. And media called out the parents of the children accused of bullying Aubrey for years. Rolling Stone highlighted country music singer Wyatt Flores's homage to Aubrey Wyatt on Wednesday evening from the Grand Ole Opry stage.
Oh.
The article noted that Aubrey was a fan of Flores, whose grandfather also died by suicide, and that one of the last videos under her name featured her singing to his viral hit, Please Don't Go, implored a loved one not to take their life. Um, so it's she is making national news, and she is touching the hearts of many, and I hope that that continues, so that we can highlight more cases of this, so that we can bring a stop to this for our children. Our children should be able to go to school and be safe and feel cared for and supported and loved and safe, not go to school and fear, every day
Right.
somebody is going to do something that hurts them. Um,
And middle school was the worst for me. I don't know about anyone else, but middle school was the worst.
Middle school is, it's a tough age, especially for girls. I think boys, they kind of go through bullying at a younger age. I think it's more for boys. It's kind of the schoolyard kind of stuff, and then later on as high school students maybe. But I think that girls, especially through the ages of 12 through 14, 15, it's a terrible time.
It
you know
really is.
it's a hard time for them. Their emotions are running rampant. Their hormones are freaking all out of whack. And I
You get
think
ready
that
for school, you feel like everything needs to be all perfect. And just when you think it is, somebody has something smart to say, and you're just like,
right,
I
right.
thought I was looking good today,
I thought I was looking great today. Yeah, it's a very hard time in teenagers' lives. It's a time period where their self-confidence is not high, and so this is when bullies do begin to kind of form, because they're
Mhm.
insecure in their own selves. So that people don't make fun of them, they strike first. um so exactly, AVL. How tragic.
Yeah.
She's getting the public support she needed when it's too late. The only bright spot is it may save more lives. Exactly.
And there's people that comment saying that I stayed because you made this video.
I know. I know. I
So
know.
many people saying that to her.
I know.
So if
I know.
it's doing even one person, do you know what I'm saying? But she's
Right.
reaching a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
How can you shut down something that's doing so much good?
You can't. You can't. And they
You know?
never should have. So the parents of the four girls accused of bullying 13-year-old Aubrey Wyatt into suicide voluntarily did dismissed a slander lawsuit Tuesday afternoon that they filed July 2nd against her mother, Heather Wyatt. In the lawsuit, they said that Heather Wyatt slandered their girls by falsely claiming they bullied Aubrey to death. The outrage and scrutiny does not just extend to Heather and the alleged bullies. And Angel Myers, district attorney for Jackson, George, and Greene counties, is tired of the inaccurate information and threats she's been subjected to on social media over the investigation into Aubrey's death. People have been spreading a rumor on Facebook and other social media platforms that she can't be impartial in the case because she is related to one of those parents whose daughter is accused of bullying Aubrey. Myers set the record straight with the statement she shared in a Facebook post. The statement says, and it's kind of long, so I'm going to read the whole thing. For over a
Okay.
week, I have been bombarded with harassing messages intended to intimidate me. These messages are rooted in misinformation being shared and spread on various social media platforms related to what is perceived to be my office's role in the investigation of the death by suicide of an Ocean Springs teenager. First and foremost, I will not be intimidated. I have been a prosecutor for nearly 20 years, day in and day out. I have fought to administer justice fairly and evenly without concerns for politics, outside influence, or pressure. My career speaks for itself. Second, there have been false statements further on social media that I am a family member of a party to the little Ghent surrounding the teen's suicide. That is simply untrue. While I know one of the parties through my daughter's dance team and my former church, this has absolutely no impact on my impartiality or my ability to do my job. My daughter passed away over 7 years ago, and I have not attended my former church since 2020. I am fiercely committed to the integrity of the office of the district attorney. I know and understand my ethical obligations and will not compromise my reputation or career in this or any other manner. Third, my office is not an investigative agency. I am charged with prosecuting felony crimes committed by adults within my district. With respect to crimes committed by juveniles, my jurisdiction is limited to crimes that carry a potential life sentence, crimes which are committed using a deadly weapon, or crimes committed by juveniles who have been certified to the circuit court for prosecution as adults by the youth court. None of these situations apply to the allegations of this matter, and my office therefore has no jurisdiction. While the ability to communicate using social media certainly has value, I would caution everyone on those platforms to not blindly follow and believe information provided by individuals who are driven by clicks and money. Our society devours drama, and in the process, sometimes people's lives, livelihood, safety, and security are devoured along with it.
With it.
Man, that is wow.
Yeah.
That is a very, very impactful statement. So this is a judge or a prosecuting attorney who is facing backlash and nothing has even happened yet. So this is what's happening in so many different things right now. This is what's happening. You get this one group of people that believe that they are right and vindicated in what they believe. And regardless of what side of this, whether you're on the side of Haley or you're on the side of, the parents of these bullies, or the girls that are now suffering their own bullying from what their own actions are, this becomes a huge thing, and it spreads so fast like a wildfire,
Mm-hmm.
and it can have real term effects rather quickly that people did not intend for that to happen the way it did.
Right.
Uh, so I just feel like that statement, it's just, man, driven by clicks and money.
Right.
Our society devours drama, and in the process, sometimes people's lives, livelihood, safety, and security are devoured along with it. Yep,
And that's just the way that is.
it is. It's true. I mean, look at what's happened to me and my colleagues,
Yep.
all for request of truthfulness,
Mm-hmm.
because a group of individuals don't like me. They want to, bully my opinions on
Hey,
a
Ocean
case that
Blue.
I've done extensive amounts of research on,
Mm-hmm.
so I just, this, I don't think bullying touches every single person at some point in time in their life,
Mm-hmm.
whether it be through a family member or yourself, or you are a bully, whichever one. I don't think there's anybody who escapes that in life. um you know
No, because it has to come from somewhere,
yeah, exactly.
even for the bully. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Kids are taught that. They do not wake up one day just being like that. It
Right.
is something that is fostered inside of them. Many of them are mimicking behavior that they're seeing at home with their parents towards them.
Mm-hmm.
So, bullying, it usually, especially with children. Now, adult bullies, I believe that's different. I think that they know better. They shouldn't do the things that they do, and they don't care. But when you're dealing with children as bullies, I think it's just as important to find out why a kid is bullying as it is to find out what the kid is being bullied for.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, Yeah, I know, Celeste. Thank you. So during a hearing in Pascagoula, Judge Maples also requested that Child Protective Services investigate the safety of all minor children involved, including Wyatt's daughter and son, and the four girls accused of bullying Aubrey. The results are to be turned over to the Jackson County Youth Court's intake unit. Now, I'm not quite understanding of why the judge felt that her children needed to have child protective services investigate. Um, I mean, maybe for their safety from the bullies. I really don't
I
understand.
yeah.
I don't get it. I'm gonna have to look into that some more because I really just don't understand why he would want that to happen.
Right.
I don't know. That's something that seems weird. That seems weird. It's just weird. And I think this case is far from over. You know, these parents would rather drag this poor mother through the mud than admit that their precious little angels could ever do something so heinous, you know?
Yeah, you're right. It's sad.
It is. It is, you know? So, questions, comments, anything else you guys want to know about this case? I'd love to talk with you guys for a little while about it, or if there's other cases that pertain to this. I know there's another child that is going through the same thing. There's another case of this of a young man who was bullied to death. I think that one is. I think I talked about that one the other day when I was talking about this case in the first place. Um, it's another, but this happens everywhere, you know. And I'm just, what are we doing? Why are we not teaching our children to be better?
And why aren't the schools taking it more seriously? Because I know Heather went to the principal many times.
I
I mean,
went to the principal many times for all of my children and got nowhere.
Aubrey was also um, sexually abused or
Hmm.
um, by somebody on the school grounds, and her mom talked to them, and she was never to be anywhere near him, around him, what have you. She goes in first day of 8th grade, boom, who's sitting in there but that boy that did that to her? So she goes to the restroom upset, and
Yeah.
calls her mom, and her mom like calls the principal and was like, somebody, first of all, go get my daughter, she's upset in the bathroom, and second, like, why is he in there with her? And then I guess she gets questioned uncomfortably, with this principal without her mom there. I just, they did not handle this well at all.
Oh my God. So this keeps going. Like the more that I find out, the more that I can't believe. So
Right.
now this goes on to now this other mother, this cat, her name is Catherine Mullen Nobelit. So she says that she's been getting threatening comments and messages for months now from strangers who have confused her with someone else. She is not Molly Nobelit's mother, no relation, no idea who this is or even what it's about. I reported several of the messages, but not sure what else to do. Her profile is private, even, but people are sending her, "Your daughter deserves to burn in hell. Real nice parenting. Did you ever think your daughter was a little rude? I'm sure you're aware that she caused someone to commit suicide, yet she still makes jokes about it. Poor Aubrey. I'm sure you receive emails like this every day." And she's just got tons and tons of them. And she's not even the bully's mother, not even related. So people, on both sides, and this is something that we've talked about in the past, is
Mm-hmm.
explaining, these characters who get involved in these cases, who decide that this is going to be their justice moment, right? Like,
Right.
uh, and then they run back and forth between creators, or
Yep.
they go out there and they employ vigilante justice, and then they come back and cry about how they're treated afterwards, or
Mm-hmm.
and so this is a snowball that we cannot stop, and it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And
The only way
as
we can stop is just by not paying attention to these people, because they thrive on it. They
right,
thrive on it.
I will find out what Kendall Rich does have to say about this, Skippity. And maybe Heather could have handled things better. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I've only since found this case within the last couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
We've been trying to pull away from the other case that we talk about quite a bit. And so
Oh, is
we've
that the
been.
creator, Skippity? I'm sorry. Is that the other creator that was saying that she thinks something is up with her because she laughed or something?
I think so. And I have to speak about that. Everyone grieves differently. Okay, everyone processes grief differently,
Mm-hmm.
and to pass judgment on a mom who is
Okay.
trying to hold it together for her two other children and navigate through all this shit is some bullshit. That's crap. Total effing crap. So what
Mm-hmm.
that she laughed? I'm sure it was probably either a nervous laugh, or it might have been something that struck her in that moment as funny about her child,
Mm-hmm.
and when we were going through grief with my mom passing, when I was going through grief with Christina passing, yes, there were times that I inappropriately laughed at something. There are times where you're so nervous and you're so frustrated and you're so hurt and you're so upset that it's easier to laugh, because if you don't, you won't stop crying.
Right.
And so
Right.
I don't think that talking about that about anybody is appropriate. Now, can we talk about someone else and how they deal with the passing of, say, you know, a mother that they took out? Yes. But in this instance, I don't think that we should be judging a mother's grief and how she's trying to hold it together.
Yeah, no, I've seen some of this creator's content, and um she's very narrow minded, and
You
teaching
know,
her
I
children to be narrow minded and holding signs up that are showing how narrow minded they are. So her opinion to me is just, nothing.
That's nothing. Nothing.
And Heather should be able, you know what I mean? She loves that people are able to ask her questions, because it helps her also remembering her daughter, knowing what her favorite
Yes.
colors and what her favorite food and what was your
Right.
favorite, thing that you like to do together. They always did their nails. It never failed. That's just the way it was. She said we always got our nails done. The fact that she left her room the way it was because she wanted it to still smell like her. Like, I can imagine all those things, and it just, you cannot tell somebody the way they should be grieving. You just cannot. You just cannot.
No.
I think it's beautiful the way she is remembering her. I don't see anyone else even doing that ever.
No.
Not like this. And it's bringing a lot of awareness. Like I said,
Yeah.
a lot of people have sent her messages saying, I stayed today because of this video.
And I don't think that she was trying to shame the bullies. I don't get that from the videos that I've watched at all. I
Mm-hmm.
really think she was more just trying to share what happened to her child. I
Right.
don't think that she wanted anyone to attack the bullies or do anything like that. In fact, I really believe that she was hoping for, actual justice to be served. But
Right.
then the police decide they're not going to go forward with any allegations of the bullying being a factor in her daughter's passing. And I think that that is wrong. And I do
Right.
believe that we are in a period where we do need to begin to hold these bullies accountable for the actions that they take, because too many lives are being lost because of this.
Right. I mean,
Too
it's
many
really breaking
children.
these kids down. It's really breaking them down.
That's why, I truly believe that social media should be limited. I don't think our youth should be participating in it at heavy levels.
Mhm.
You know, I think that parents need to be involved in their children's lives. They need to talk with their kids. They need to know what's going on. They need to be monitoring the social media to see, you know, I don't think that that's being an overbearing parent. I think that
No.
that's being a cautious parent in a time period where bullying has now reached just absolutely unsurmountable levels. There is no more, I left school and my bullying stopped anymore. It's continuous.
Mhm.
Yes, Abigail. There's also an epidemic, I don't know if you talked about this, of parents purposefully. Oh, how far does this reach?
That's fine. Go right there.
There's also an epidemic of parents purposefully exposing their children to social media in order to benefit and monetize off of them.
Yes.
And that
Right.
gives the wrong kind of people unlimited access to these children.
To their
Absolutely.
kids. Exactly.
Yeah.
Does not monitor
Right.
what you are posting of
No.
a child.
No.
It really does not.
Right.
You can, there is an account that you can look at where this woman made her daughter eat hot dogs, frozen honey, anything cylindrical, and this child was fearful of anything cylindrical.
Oh my God.
What
Just
does that
awful.
tell you?
Yeah.
Social media is not for kids, and
Not
kids
at all.
posted on it.
No, social media is not for children, and it should never have been. That's why there's supposed to be age limits on it. You're not even supposed to have a Facebook until you're 13 years old. I don't even think that they should have it then. I truly believe that unless you're a parent who's monitoring your child's social media, your child should not be on social media. Sorry.
No,
If
and
you're
there's
not-
a
if you're gonna
lot of
be
the parents that do that.
Yeah, you know, and we are in a day and age of parents who parent by turning on the TV
Mhm.
or putting on YouTube, or, you know, and that's their whole way of parenting. And so now children are being subjected to just outrageous amounts of content that is absolutely inappropriate for them. I've had to put blocks on things because I don't want Wyatt seeing it. Like,
Right,
and
right.
it's on the kids side. It's on the kids side of YouTube. It's not
I
even
know
adult
it.
YouTube.
I
I'm like,
know
this
it.
is horrible. And then kid YouTube is just a breeding ground for pedos to walk free. Like,
Exactly. I wanted to know what game you're playing. Can you talk to other people? You know,
yeah,
you have to find out all that stuff. You just do.
yeah. Well, Celeste, she chimes in quite a bit. My family likes to get involved in the conversations. They are all opinionated like their mom. You know, they know
She
exactly.
always has a good point of view, though. I like
She
listening to her.
does. She does. She's very intelligent. And Abigail,
Mhm.
you know, she went through a lot of that cyberbullying, and
Mhm.
she grew up on the internet ahead of her time, and we had to, you know, monitor her use of the internet because of it, because I was seeing things that I didn't think were appropriate for her to be looking at. You know, I've had friends whose children have been subjected to that. And so the internet is a dangerous place for kids. They don't
Right.
belong on it at all without serious monitoring.
Another thing,
Yes.
TikTok allows, like they don't.
Right. I understand, but they don't, yeah.
Policy. One thing that TikTok fosters, rather,
Uh-huh.
is an environment where adults are basically teaching children through fictional characters,
Right.
that it's okay to have gross relationships with adults,
Right.
because your favorite character's doing it.
Yeah.
Bluey does that
Mhm.
with her dad. That's okay. Like,
Yeah.
no,
Right.
it's
Not okay.
and
No.
we don't need to be, and they excuse it over, well, I'm a victim of CSA. Then you need to talk to your parents and get help, not strangers on the internet who are telling you those kinds of relationships are okay.
Or okay.
Even
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
Yes.
fiction doesn't affect reality. Yes, it fucking does.
Yes, it does. Look at the
Sorry,
Slenderman
I didn't
girls.
mean to-
Right.
I know.
but
No.
yes, it does.
Yes, it does. Look at the Slenderman girls. That's one of the cases
Oh, yeah.
that Abigail has very much been involved in researching, and she wants, you know, we're gonna cover the Slenderman girls, and Abigail will probably be one of our guest speakers for that series.
Mhm.
Because
I'd love to have her.
you know, if you want to think about, and this again brings us back to the case at hand of Gypsy Rose and her being this influencer. You know, they're trying to make her an influencer. She is a murderer, and they are trying to make her an
An
influencer.
influencer. That's no
And
lie.
they are targeting a younger crowd, the 13 to 25-year-old crowd, a very impressionable crowd with her, and that is going to be a slippery slope, you know,
Mhm.
on what happens. And I'm going to guarantee you we're going to see copycats, and we're going to see a lot of bad things happen from this surgence of acceptance of things that are 100% wrong.
Right.
Wrong. No murderer, none, not a single one, not any, should ever be held on a pedestal for any reason whatsoever. They
No.
should not be having reality TV shows, and we shouldn't be glorifying them, and they shouldn't be justifying those behaviors, and they are. And I think that it's scary, and I am scared for our youth.
I truly am. I truly am. They just overlook that fact. Blows my mind.
Yeah. Yep.
Like how many people have been truly, mistreated through their lives. And yeah,
For
our
sure.
parents are still living. You know what I mean? And so
Right.
are we.
And so are we.
Because we took our own 2 feet and we walked away from a situation. That's how that works
Yeah.
when you're of legal age.
Of
So,
legal age. Right. Exactly. Exactly.
but she wasn't even 18. She wasn't even 19, 20, 21, 22. She was 23. Huh.
Huh. Funny.
But yet
Funny
she
how
couldn't walk to that door and walk out. Yeah,
Funny
you'll
how
never
perception
convince me.
changes things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you think about her and you think, oh, she was a 15-year-old girl, and you know, she thought and even if you think she was 19 and she didn't know how old she was, no, none of that's true. It's just not true. It just isn't true.
Mm-mm.
So, you know, it just that story is so complicated and such a mess. And you know, yeah, exactly. On Good Morning America, what's her name? Completely forgot Gypsy killed her mother. Like, excuse me,
Yeah.
what? Right? Like like Joy Behar just telling her, you did nothing wrong. And she's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I did. I killed my mom. And she's like, oh yeah, that part. Oh yeah, that part. Oh yeah, that part.
Mm-hmm.
What? Excuse me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that part. Oh yeah, I forgot. You know, I forgot that the whole reason that we have you on this show is because you're a murderer who killed your mom. I forgot that that's why we actually are speaking to you, because there's absolutely no other reason that we would be speaking to you, because you're no one and you have done no things and you have accomplished nothing.
Right.
You know?
Not a thing.
Yeah.
Except bringing more followers in to enjoy the con. That's what she's doing.
I agree, Skippity. I do think she's literally one of the sickest people ever. I do. It's just very tragic, and nothing about that baby is happy or good. Nothing.
No.
So
Yeah, and the lies just keep on coming.
The lies
Just keep on coming. You can't even run tests for genetics. I can't even go there right now, because it'll just, I could go on and on and on and on and on. She just lies about everything. Everything.
Yep. And
I mean, seriously. She'll argue about the color of the sky. I mean, I'm telling you, that woman lies.
And her followers are vicious and hateful and mean.
Ooh.
And they are some of the biggest bullies I've ever met.
Oh yeah.
That's the thing. You know, you've got a person who's over here holding a bullying and anti-bullying platform, and then literally trying to bully somebody on that platform. And then they decide that they're going to speak about it for 8 hours at a time about how they didn't get to do what they wanted to do. It's ridiculous. And now, to my understanding, that person has passed away, and I don't know anything about her passing away, yet we can all know about all the drama going around, but nobody knows why this woman passed away.
Why isn't anybody saying what happened?
we're not going to talk about that. We're just going to continue to villainize other people and trash them and continuously do this. But in the meantime, we're all going to say that bullying is horrible, and we're all going to say that we shouldn't be doing it, yet you're all the ones doing it.
Right. They devote their days to it. They devote their days. It's very disturbing to me
Yeah.
that people, honestly, there's people like this that devote their days to trying ruin other people.
For no reason other than I don't like you.
Exactly. They go real life on people. It's,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, someone, you know what? I can laugh because I know there's going to be a lot of people regretting what they're doing. That's why I laugh.
For sure. For
Because you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
The hatred, yeah, and especially like if they know that there's something going on in your life, you know what I mean? Or even if there's not, but especially when they know that there is something going on in your life, and then they just pile that on top of it and throw more hate at you, and like
And
really truly are like loving
then
doing that.
and then play the victim when it doesn't go right for them.
Or if you come back at them, or if you're just like, I don't know. All I know is if I truly think somebody is horrible, or I don't like them, or I hate somebody, or whatever, I am not devoting any of my time or energy on that person. I'm just not.
No.
I mean, yeah, I'll speak about it with you right here because what we're talking about. But as far as like devoting my day, my time, my energy, my everything into just throwing crap at somebody, you better start looking at yourself if you got that much hate. Like, honestly, I ain't the one with the problem, girl, and neither are you. It ain't us.
No, it ain't us.
That's for damn sure.
No, and it's just it's sad that people will do this. You know, you expect this from the youth because they don't know better, and children just say what they think. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's not even a matter of bullying as so much as it's just a conscious thought that they just blurt out, you know, and kids do that, and then other kids join in, and that's how you become, you know, a mob of people attacking one person. And a child, that's terrible. You know, I can't, these girls that have to go through this, and children, you know, that are subjected to this. I was bullied, my children were bullied,
Mm-hmm.
but not to the level that we are at today. I mean, social media has become a beast of its own.
Truly.
And I think it has done nothing to help society. Yes, it connects people that otherwise would not necessarily be connected, but I think that there is much more detriment done through social media than there ever is any good. Um, you know, it's kind of like the news doesn't tell you good happy stories because that's not what the news is about. Like, nobody
Right.
gives a shit about good happy stories. People just want to know what tragic thing is happening today. You
Right.
know, people feed on this drama and this hatred, and it fuels them. And I think
Mm-hmm.
many times it consumes the people that it's happening to, or the ones that are doing it. You know, I think that sometimes a difference of opinion can start out as just that, and maybe something that should have been said behind closed doors instead of, you know, in public, probably would be a better way to handle situations. But now with social media, so many people just want to take to social media and tell their truth, you know, and I think that it's opened this door for people to just behave abhorrently.
Because it's easy to do it behind a keyboard.
Keyboard, when you
I
don't
mean,
have
for
to stand
real.
10 toes down. I guarantee you, the people that come after me every day, that say, make content about me every day, that say things about me every day, that are talking about me right now, I, honest to God, I would say
Yeah.
that lives are 100% consumed by the hatred and the anger and jealousy. And it's just so concerning.
It very much is concerning.
And it's not just concerning for the bullied, it's concerning for the bullies too. Because, like you said, to have that much hatred in your heart,
Oh
to
my
live
goodness.
like that, I don't know. You know, when I lived unhappy for a very long time. I was mad at the world. I mean, the world, the whole world.
Mm-hmm.
I was angry at the world for not giving me an easy life, for giving me a mom who was hard and who was sick. And then she passed away early. And then, you know, my life was hard. My life has been a very hard life. I have not lived an easy life. You know, I have made my own way in this world. But I just think that social media has just increased the level of bad and shitty acceptable behavior.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Like,
The amount, though, it's like the amount of hate and harassment, like, and the level that they'll take it to, you know? Like
right.
when they're going real life and stuff, like Ryan was saying, you know, they're sending cops to her
To her
house.
house. Yeah.
Call, saying stuff about her dogs and stuff. It's like, what are you people doing? Like, why?
I don't get it.
It's very concerning to me. Very. I mean, because
It is.
these are really bad people to do stuff like this. Like, you are a bad person. I don't
Yeah.
care what you think you are, but you're bad doing stuff like that. That's
Right.
not right.
Right. And see, and this is where I said, you know, Gypsy's influence is a problem because before, you know, she convinced one guy to do something through the internet, right? One guy.
Mm-hmm.
She fostered that for 3 years with him, and she finally wore him down enough that he was willing to do the worst thing in the world, and that was take another human's life. Okay. So if she can do that with one guy,
Mm-hmm.
now she has 9.9 million followers on TikTok alone.
Oh, I
If
know.
just a handful of those get a message from her that they think that she's somehow actually speaking through the internet to them specifically and asking them to do something, they will do this. This will
Oh,
happen.
yeah.
I guarantee you there is going to be a huge fallout from all of this.
Oh, yeah.
And then everybody's going to act shocked and be like, oh my God, we didn't see this coming, when every single one of us has been out here telling you it was coming the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
Every single thing I have said that was going to happen in this situation has happened. Every prediction I have made has come true.
Yep.
I told them about how the fall from grace was going to be hard. I told them about how social media would be unkind. I told them about, I mean, I've told them, and I told them, and I told them, and I told them. And I have called it every single step of the way. But I'm going to tell you, when someone else gets hurt, it's not going to be my fault.
Mm-mm.
It's going to be everybody who stood by and did nothing and said, what's the hurt of her being on social media?
And supported her and brought her on their shows.
Right.
And gave her a show.
What's the problem with her asking for tons and tons of gifts for a baby that we don't even know exists or not?
I don't know anybody that needs 6 strollers.
I don't either.
Like, what is that about? Girl, you
Right.
have money. There are mothers who are struggling who could use everything that she got, and she should be giving that to them. But that won't happen. Because this is what she does. It's the grift. It's the con. She said, I will never pay for anything. I never paid for anything. I won't pay for anything. And she ain't paying for anything.
Nope.
Not
Trying
at
to
all.
get the ex-husband to pay for the current boyfriend's freaking baby. I mean, it's just messy. Fucking messy. All right, guys.
That's
Well,
not full Psyche Awakens. I just read. I've been severely
what?
cyberbullied to the point of having entire shows staged around me for harassment. That's what I'm saying. It's like, where do
Yes.
these people,
Yes.
you know?
That's what they were doing to me. Psyche.
Yes.
That's exactly what they did. They invited me to an anti-bullying freaking platform and then intended to bully me on the anti-bullying platform. And then when it didn't go that way, they held 2 different lives back to back for 8 hours in total to boo-hoo about the fact that they could not bully me on their anti-bullying platform.
I mean, you can't write this shit.
I can't write this shit.
You really can't write it. You really cannot. I mean, when I if I didn't see it with my own eyes, I would have said, "You're full of shit." No, they're not. And I saw it with my own eyes. I'm sorry, I have to laugh because
At
it's
this
funny. It
point,
is actually it is funny to me because you
well,
know
yeah.
we're having a good time. I don't know what they're doing, but we've been having a good time, and it's like. They just
Right.
sit there and have to keep doing videos about you over and over and over about the same thing over and over and over. And it's like, move on.
I get it.
Can
I
you
get
move
it.
on?
You don't like me. That's okay. I don't
Yeah.
like you either.
Yeah.
See, I don't want to talk about you because I don't like you.
Like, but can you move on? Just take your little self from here and go over here and move the fuck on. Because we're done with it.
On. Build a
Like, honest
bridge
to
and get
God,
over
I
it.
can't.
Build the bridge, get over it.
Right.
Like, I don't know. But
Bye, Aviel. Good to have
bye,
you.
Aviel. Bye. But yeah, I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it. And it's
That's
like
right, Skippity.
inviting you on the internet is almost like my friend's ex-husband pranking mad at her and yanking her daughter out of the closet. Now she is trying to run an anti-bullying campaign. Yeah, exactly, Karen. Exactly. That's exactly that. And I'm sorry that your friend's business partner did that. Like awful.
Such crap. Like just crap. Just crappy ass people. Just being mean just because. You know what I mean? Like, how miserable do you have to feel inside to spread that kind of meanness and hate? You know what I mean? I almost want to say I feel bad or sorry for them, but I don't want to feel that way for them because they're just so bad. Like, I just don't want nothing to do with them. Like, none of them.
Karen, I know you're guising this as something positive, but I think that you're being an asshat, to be honest with you. Because I think I know who you're referring to. And if you are referring to Miss Tori and the daughter being yanked out of the closet, that's not how that happened. So you can just run along now. And if you don't mean that, that's fine. But I think you do. I think you do, Karen.
Yeah, I'm reading
I
it
think
now.
I do. I think you do, Karen. So why don't you run along? I hear they're having a live over there that they will be happy to accept
go
you
join
over
the
there.
hate. Go
over there. Go over there. Yeah, that didn't happen. And I'm going to ban you. There you go.
She said,
Sorry.
actually, I'm not.
Actually, you're not. Okay, well.
Pretty
one
sure,
of the mods
though.
could then one of the mods can if they feel so inclined, they can go ahead and unban you. But I don't, Karen. I really don't.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't.
That hit too close to home.
Nah, I don't think that was funny at all. But hey, I could be wrong. I've been wrong. It doesn't happen very often.
It happens. It
does happen. It does happen. It does happen.
At least you can admit that.
Yeah. So anyway, guys,
that's right, Skippity. You don't like me? Don't talk about me. Obviously,
don't talk about me. Obviously,
part of you is low-key in love with me because you can't leave me alone.
For sure.
Like, you know what I'm saying? When I truly don't like somebody, I'm like, gone, bye, see ya. Never want to talk to you, whatever.
Or about you,
but when you're still kind of low key liking the person, you mess with them. Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So just so you guys know, our ebook is available and live on Amazon.
That's right, girl.
Now.
That's right,
it's
girl.
Available. It's out. So you guys can go order the ebook if you want to. If you are waiting for the paperback, Amy and I are finishing that up right now. We are just adding the additional
Photos.
photos and documents and things like that.
Yeah.
Now, the ebook itself has everything except for pictures and documents. The pictures and documents will be included in our hardback and our paperback versions. And then we are working on a special audio version as well. So if you guys have noticed, the podcast is down in the first season. The second season is up, and I do actually want you all to go listen to the second season because it's much, much better than anything we've ever done on Gypsy Rose. So the second season is incredible. It covers a variety of different cases. We talk with a variety of different professionals, but we are going to utilize the podcast and we're going to edit it along with the book, and we will use that for portions of the audio book that we will be releasing as well. So I'm so glad that we finally have got this out there for you guys. It is not just the transcripts, as some people would like to say. It's almost
It's
1,500
much more.
pages long, and it's much, much more than that. So you guys go run over to Amazon, grab the ebook, or you can run over to thegoodwivesnetwork.com and you guys can grab yourself an autographed copy of the paperback that we'll be releasing next week.
I'm
So
so excited for you.
oh, thank you. I mean, you did an
Very, very
amazing job.
excited.
You did an amazing job, though, of editing and helping and
Buddy,
getting it all pulled together. I couldn't have done that without you.
we had a good team around us. We do. We have a
did.
good group of women on our
We
team.
do.
I love everybody that's with us. Love them all.
Yep. People who are willing to, put in the time and the effort because they believe in something,
Right.
and not people who complain and
Want their
look
own
for
platform. Or,
clout and
yeah.
exactly. So anywho, we've got that coming. We've got the book out now, and you guys will be able to get the hard or the paperback probably starting this next week. And then I think the hardback we're gonna wait for a little bit because there's just some extra stuff I want to really put in it. If we're gonna do if we're going to do the hardback, I really think that I want it to be like the complete work of everything we did up until the point that we started doing this year,
Right.
I think I want that to be the closing of all of that. Like all of our previous stuff will get included in that hardback with the transcripts and everything, and we'll be utilizing that as part of our documentary. So if you see some of the Gypsy stuff coming up and going down and coming up and you'll understand why. We're trying to edit it and utilize it for the purposes of the documentary and going forward. How often do I go live? Skippity, right now we're kind of doing it randomly.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get back into a more structured schedule, but right now we have not. We've been trying to do at least one live a week. So thank you. Oh, thank you.
Psyche Awakened said they would like to come and share some stories with you.
Oh,
they could email us.
Yeah, please email us at tipsforgoodwives@gmail.com. And if we share your story, we will give you a shout out for sure. Okay, guys. So we've got the books. We've got the documentary we're working on for next year. We're working on our Nick book now. And we have a book we're working on about Lacey Spears, a true Munchausen by proxy mother.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys are going to do that. Now, if you have not checked out the rest of all of our stuff on here, we have talked about thousands of cases. So, thank you, Lauren. I'm glad I was helpful in helping you see the truth. So we hope you like this new series. In this, we plan on discussing more cases of bullying, mean girls, and the bite of social media. Check out our interviews with J.A. Yates and the father of Cherokee Harmon, another case of bullying ending in the life of a teen girl. And we will be covering Aubrey's stories and others like the Sunderman girls, Skylar Neese, and Paler Lautner. Our children are being exposed daily to things much too complex for them to navigate. And it's our job as mothers to ensure their safety. So this is a topic that is really dear to our hearts here.
Absolutely.
So thanks so much for tuning in and dishing true crime with the Good Wives. Don't forget to join our Patreon membership club to get exclusive mini episodes, inside documents and pictures from the case, live YouTube discussions, and get some amazing Good Wives merch.
And you can follow us on all socials at goodwives.net. And on TikTok, we are goodwivesnet2. And for more inside information, check out our podcast, The Good Wives Guide to True Crime, on any of your favorite podcast players.
Have a good one from the Good Wives, serving up true crime, one dish at a time. Bye, guys. Thank you all for joining us tonight.
Thanks for being here.